Hi everybody, George back with another video. Today I'm going to have an attempt at doing a contest entry for Johnathan Cheap and Cheerful Records. Johnathan's reached 1,500 subscribers. Well done, Johnathan. I follow Johnathan too on Facebook, YouTube, Facebook, and Johnathan shows a lot of his new buys and current records he's listened to on YouTube, so all generally very good, and I comment when I can, or the ones I see. So 5 genres, 1 album, deep cuts, an album that you basically not listened to for a long time. So an album, we'll start off with jazz and Miles Davis, Bitches Brew. I've had this for years. Probably the second Miles Davis album I ever bought. First one being kind of blue. And I'm more a hard boppy sort of jazz guy, I guess, these days. So I hadn't listened to this for a long time. Miles Davis getting in his electric period, as everybody knows. Yeah, it was great to listen to again. Double album. About 6 tracks on it from 1970. John McLaughlin on electric guitar, Jack DeJohnette on drums, Chick Corea on electric piano, Wayne Shorter soprano sax, amongst some other musicians. Yeah, great album. Good to listen to again. Needs more listens again, yeah. Miles Davis, Bitches Brew, classic album, and it was good to listen to again. I've been meaning to play it for a long time anyway, so it's been nagging away, just get back into it, and yeah, it was great to listen to it again. Bitches Brew, Miles Davis. Okay, I love the blues. Buy the odd blues album now. I've done most of my thing blues in probably the 90s. I was listening to blues, and this album this album was done by Joe Hartley. Joe Hartley worked for Audio Quest, the American hi-fi manufacturers, make cables and whatever, and they started making CDs and vinyl albums. Started the Audio Quest record company, so Joe Hartley was in the bar one night with must have been the other chap from Audio Quest, and heard this chap playing and signed him up. I think he was their first artist, and he done 4 albums on vinyl for them, 4 CDs. He eventually went and joined Can't Eat as our main singer, guitar player, and he died. Anyway, the man is Robert Lucas. I love him. Using Men Blues, his first album on the Audio Quest label. So I seen this on the wall in the hi-fi. It was a hi-fi show, and I just had to buy it right away. And 6 tracks by Robert Lucas, 6 tracks by the classics in blues, which is Son House, Sonny Boy Williamson, Mississippi Fred McDowell, and he does a couple of Robert Johnson tracks on here. Absolutely brilliant. So it'd be up there in my top 10 blues LPs. His own blues tracks are fantastic too anyway. So it's just a 4-piece band really, bass, guitar, mandolin. Classic album. Robert Lucas deserves more kudos than he gets, I guess. Not that well known. Sadly passed away. Fantastic artist. One of my favourite albums. Robert Lucas, Using Men Blues. Next off we have doing folk. and I've not been into folk really a hell of a long time. It was maybe even the VC, watching the VC before I started making videos. I started hearing about this chap and I'd done my research, and I realised he was brought up in the next scheme to me. We call it schemes areas. I lived in Muirhouse and he lived in West Pilton. The Muirhouse was sort of the train spotting area where it was themed on sex, drugs and rock and roll. So this man, Bert Jansch, was from West Pilton in Edinburgh, and this is, it's done like a book. It's a 4 LP box set. Absolutely fantastic. This one is Bert's first 4 albums. Bert Jansch, I Don't Bother Me, It Don't Bother Me, Jack Ryan and Bert and John from 65 and 66, his first 4 albums. Absolutely brilliant. I went to buy the next, they've done 3 other box sets, and I love them all. Don't play them enough, so it's always great to go back and listen to Bert Jansch. For folk music, my go-to would be Bert Jansch. Next off we have a bit of classical, which you can hear there, and this is from 1980. It's Eric Satie, and I can never pronounce the 3 Gymnophides, done by Pascal Rogue. So this is quite an easy, you probably recognise the piano music, it's quite famous. Quite an easy, if you try to get into classical music, this is a good one to start off with if you like piano, solely piano music. For it for years, don't visit very often, but it's a great one to get there. Eric Satie. So Eric Satie would kick around with Jean Cocteau and Picasso in Paris at the turn of the century, hang out in the French cafes, and all part of the same scene. Great piece of classical music. Eric Satie on the Decca label. And last but not least, we have an old favourite of mine from 1986. This is David Sylvian, and the genre of this is, I don't know, pop. David Sylvian was the main man in the band Japan. He'd done about 5 albums, and then David Sylvian done 5 or 6 solo albums. This is his second solo album, Gone to Earth, which is a double album, which it sort of has the pop album on one side. There's 2 singles released from it, and the second album is more ambient music. I mean, you can class that as ambient music. We have Robert Fripp on this, and my hero Bill Nelson, amongst other great players. We have Kenny Wheeler, there's 2 members of Japan, Steve Jansen on drums, which was David Sylvian's brother, Richard Barbieri on keyboards or atmospherics, Kenny Wheeler on flugelhorn, BJ Cole on pedal steel guitar. It's quite it's hard to describe, ambient, electronic, jazz. Played it a couple of days ago. Always great to go back to. It's one that never, a lot of pop music for me dates from the 70s and 80s, and I just never play them again. They're off the time. But this is pop music, it's timeless. So this is David Sylvian, genre, art rock, Gone to Earth. Give it a try, it's a great album. Okay, Jonathan, best of luck with your comp. I hope you don't get too many entries because I want to win. Catch you later, bye then.